can always tell when a streak's going to come to an end. You win a couple of games, you probably shouldn't.
There are teams out there that could use that quality of playoff goaltending. All right, Ray, you ready to do this?
Yep, let's go.
Powered by Red Media in partnership with TSN, it is season 7 of the Ray and Greg's Hockey Podcast, and it is presented by our title sponsor, Tim Hortons. NHL hockey cards are back with a fresh 234 card collection from Upper Deck at Tim Hortons. Find your favorite NHL stars, specialty inserts, and rare autograph cards as well. Hey, you could even uncover golden prize cards for a VIP trip to the 2026 Stanley Cup Final, or for the first time ever, win a brand new car. You good, Ray? Are you
I'm
good?
good.
Are you ready to roll here, buddy?
Yeah, I was doing some notes. I'm ready to go. I got a lot on the go here. No fooling around. Let's get to the hockey quickly here, Drakes. Come on, chop.
We for sure we will, but first we've got to get to some NHL trading cards from Tim Hortons. So my ritual, and today is one of those rare 2 drive-through rituals, because I went first thing this morning, and then I'll go later today before heading into studio. Right. But the poor woman at the local Tim Hortons drive-through, I ordered my breakfast sandwich, sausage, egg, English muffin, right? And I said, by the way, can I also have 30 packs of your NHL cards? So I'll try and hold them up without dropping them everywhere. But that's a good handful, right? 30 packs of NHL cards.
Did you open any? Did you open any yet?
I'm not. I'm going to open one right now. What
do we got?
They're the mystery packs. And I got to tell you, reason I bought 30 is Holly and I, through Gregor Media, support a charity out west every summer. And the Tim Hortons NHL cards are an unbelievable seller. Because they're mystery packs. Kids love them. Yeah. If the kids love them, mom and dad love them. So that's what we do. So you get 3 cards per pack. Oh, hold on here.
What do we get? Who do we open up with? Who's our opener?
Let's just see. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Can't see the face really in the light.
No, it's an Islander for sure. Is that Bo Horvat?
It is Bo Horvat. Very well done.
I'm doing the Islanders today, so I am.
Are you? So perfect.
I'm a little focused in on them. Yeah.
3 nice cards. Bo Horvat. I got an Adam Fox, of course, for the New York Rangers. Yeah. And how about Owen Tippett from the Philadelphia Flyers? That's a pretty good start.
Guy can score. That's a good start. Good cards. Good cards today.
How are you doing today, Ray? Everything is good?
I'm good.
Settled in?
Yeah, I'm good. Took the train from Washington to New York yesterday. Man, the train is awesome.
Yeah.
Went for dinner
with
TJ
civilized way to travel, right? Yeah.
Yep, it is. Went to dinner with TJ Oshie, who was just getting rolling at TSN. What a nice guy he is. And then doing the prep, and got to drive out to where UBS Center is, where the Islanders play. That's about a 90-minute drive today, and we'll do the Islanders and Oilers tonight.
There's a couple of names. We're always looking for quality storytelling guests on the Ray and Riggs podcast, right? I mean, it's great to have the head coaches because, again, historically they're players and have good stories. Likewise for the GMs, but the recently retired guys are lots of fun. Like Tyson Barrie has been on, he's done about 50 different podcasts since packing it in. But TJ Oshie would be a good guest, wouldn't he?
He is. He had a couple really good stories last night, and he played with Ovi for years, and the one thing he said is he's like there's a story a day about him, like just the way he is, right? And he's a bigger than life personality. Eric Johnson is. We'll wrangle both of those guys
for sure.
Eric's about ready to start his ESPN career as well, so we'll. They don't know it, but they signed with ESPN, and now they're guests on the Ray and Dregs podcast. They just don't know it yet.
All right. You're busy, and we've got regional hockey on TSN as well tonight. So let's get into the headlines brought to us by the Canadian Brew House. Hey, hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Catch every game with beer specials, game day prizes, so much more, all at the best hockey house in town. See in store at thecanadianbrewhouse.com for details on what your local Canadian Brew House is up to. this hockey season. Now, rarely in the Canadian Brewhouse headlines do we start with the Chicago Blackhawks. But I feel like just given there was some weirdness last night. We'll get to Buffalo momentarily, right? And what's going on in Ottawa with injury as well. But Chicago clipped the St. Louis Blues 8-3 last night. Connor Bedard had 3 assists, 29th multi-point game for Connor Bedard, which sounds like a lot to me. I mean, he's a highly skilled player, but that tied a Blackhawks record, Ray, with Bobby Hull for most multi-point games before the age of 21. And again, on this pod, we like to accentuate the positive. There's enough stuff that we have to chew on over the course of the year.
Right.
Are we going to see another level of Connor Bedard, just based on the scrutiny that this kid entered the NHL with?
I don't know if we talked about this on the pod, Dregs, or if I just talked to you about it, but I did a charity thing with Bedard for a Canadian bank this summer. I kind of hosted they were playing golf, him and Christine Sinclair, the great legendary Canadian soccer player. And I hosted a question and answer with them, and then they played golf with these sponsors for the day. And immediately I noticed a difference in Connor, just in his demeanor. He was more relaxed. He was
interesting.
It was just completely different. And after the question and answer period was over and they went to go play, I was talking to his mom and dad, and I was like, man, I mean, you guys see him every day, but I got to tell you, like, I was really happy for him. Like, it just looked like the pressure valve had been released. And so, my brother-in-law, Tony, does games for the Blackhawks, and Darren Pang, of course, does the color with on their broadcasts. And I called him. I'm like, you guys, this is a different kid. Like, I'm really happy for, like, it was so obvious. And I guess if you think about it, when he came in and we were all standing right over top of him watching every move, he's 18 years old. I mean, just think of your kids at 18 and how they're just figuring out anything. And you've got the entire hockey world saying, oh, this is the greatest guy since McDavid, and generational and all this stuff. And the Blackhawks stunk. They were terrible. And his first game, his first face-offs against Sidney Crosby, there was just like a snowball of pressure on him. And maybe it took a couple years for him to relax. The other thing is, they're now, and I know this from, again, just my experience, but when we were in Hartford, when in the rebuild, when a lot of the older players were moved away, moved on to the next team, and it became a really young team, it felt like our team. Like it was, like I was in a group of guys that, like, Joel Quenneville was the old guy. He was 27, right? Like, Joel felt really old to me, but we were all 20 and 21. And then the team became ours. And I think that's kind of what's happening in Chicago, is you look around that lineup and all of a sudden there's very few veterans anymore. Yeah. They're all younger guys, and there's an energy and a ownership to it. And of course, they got help last night. I mean, the Blues had, Joel Hofer had one of those nights that, he had a little dodgeball going last night. And, the Hawks throw a big number on the board.
Yeah, I mean, 5 unanswered Chicago scored. Hofer, to your point, pulled in the second half after allowing 4 on 14 shots. And, this is just an experienced club, an experienced captain speaking out and defending his goalie. And goalies in general, Braden Shen not having any of the post-game blame directed at the goaltending. He said odd man rushes, point-blank chances. This was not about goaltending. But you do get the feeling that Montgomery is he's going to yank the chain, because St. Louis is a good club.
Yeah. And early in the year, I don't want to say coaches like this, but they like the chance to teach, like to re-hammer in their points. Now, I get the defending of the goalie. The first goal, Hofer made a beautiful pass to Mikheyev in the slot for an empty netter. which would be fine, but Mikheyev plays for Chicago.
That's the wrong team, yeah.
The second goal, Lucas Reichel, he couldn't have shot that any more from the outside or at the goal line. He would have been next to the Zamboni. And it was 2-0.
Yeah.
And so now you got to fight back in the game. And then Chen's right. There were some odd man rushes, and it was just not a good night in St. Louis at all. Just not a good night.
Likewise for the Ottawa Senators. So they lose 8-4 to the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. So some relief in Buffalo based on that win. Buffalo scored 3 times in the span of 3 minutes, 26 seconds in the second period, including Ryan McLeod's shorthanded goal, Ray, after an unsuccessful challenge and Jake Sanderson's goal to open the game up a little bit. It was a weird one, though, wasn't it? I mean, Ottawa found a way to claw back before Buffalo finally put it away. So, I mean, can one game flip a switch? Because we talked about this on Insider Trading on Tuesday, just how the heat is swarming around Kevin Adams, the general manager of the Sabres, after another tough start. The team wasn't competing, not playing well enough, any of that. So it's only one win, but man, was that needed, because they've got Florida coming up, and all of a sudden you lose back-to-back on home ice again. You're 0-5, whatever. I mean, it could have turned really, really ugly in Buffalo.
Does it flip a switch? I'm going to say no, but it certainly takes the pressure off. I mean, the issues that are there are still there, but now they've got one win. So guys do feel a little bit better about themselves. The fact that they scored 8 times makes a lot of guys feel a little better about themselves. Like a 2-1 win would have been nice. 8 is better. Doesn't even matter that you gave up 4. Like 8 is better. Everybody feels a little. It's just the way it is. Everybody feels just a little better about it. They just have to try and find a way. Like, can you put a second game together? Can you start to put some games together in a way that you can win on a nightly or semi-nightly basis? We did the Tampa game the other day, and John Cooper kept talking about early in the season, like what hockey's like. And he said, they keep talking about good hockey habits.
Yeah.
They keep reiterating to their team, look, Kucherov hasn't had a great start. You're a really good player. Just have good habits, have good hockey habits. The rest of the stuff will come. And for Buffalo, if they can build enough of those habits, maybe they start to put some games together, right? That's certainly what they're looking for. Ottawa, on the other hand, man, Brady Tkachuk means a lot to them.
It's a tough one.
The Tkachuk's personalities are outsized personalities, right? It's not just one guy. They affect a lot, and they're going to miss Brady a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's out several weeks with the hand wrist injury, and yeah, it's great you get Drake Batherson back. So there's an injection there, but there is also a search for chemistry and execution in that lineup. And, general manager Steve Staios, he's vowing to be as patient as he can be. And it's not like, we in the media, certainly my wing of media, we want the juicy stuff. We want to be able to speculate. Well, this general manager is eyeing this particular player. Well, 5 games into the regular season, that's not real. It isn't. But I could see there's definitely an appetite for Steve Staios to do something bigger as the season unfolds. You have to have a trade partner to do something bigger with. But it's more, I think, Ray, thinking about, okay, well, what if that chemistry doesn't come together and the execution isn't as crisp as Travis Green needs it to be? You're never going to replace Brady Tkachuk over his several-week absence here, but you could see how the aggressiveness of the Ottawa Senators does kind of take hold in the weeks ahead.
Yes, as long as somebody else is having one of those starts too.
Right. Yeah.
And somebody will, right? Like, there's already a couple of teams that, maybe not gotten out to as comfortable a start as they would have liked. And so you get 3 weeks into the season, you've played 7, 8, 9 games, and or as the kids would say, 6-7 games. And I hear that at home all the
time. Don't ever do that again.
Well, that's what it is. Come on, Dregs. And so, like, how long can you be patient? How long can you wait for, gee, we think that winger and that centerman play well together. What if they just don't? At this point, you're like, are you going to wait another 3 weeks?
Yeah.
To get to 15 games? Probably not. I mean, if you think you're a playoff team or right around the bubble, you don't have 15 games to mess around.
Yeah.
You probably have to jump a little quicker than you might like.
Yeah. Florida's preaching patience as well, but you can add Kulikov now and Nosek to the long-term injury list. That also, of course, includes Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. Kulikov had surgery to repair a torn labrum on Wednesday, so he's out a minimum of 5 months. Nosek, undisclosed, but they're saying long-term. So of the 19 players on the ice in the loss to the Detroit Red Wings Wednesday night, 15, Ray, appeared in the Stanley Cup final. 15 of the 19. Paul Maurice, I don't know if it was before the game or after the game, said the weight doesn't get heavier, quote, you just have fewer guys to lift. Like he always finds these, important little notes, because isn't it really what it boils down to? But that's the mindset of those 15 players, 15 of the 19 who are in the Stanley Cup. That's their mindset, isn't it? Let's just, we can't do anything about the guys who aren't here because they're hurt. All we can do is what we're paid to do. And given the experience of that lineup of the Florida Panthers, that could be enough to carry them into a real competitive place again.
I just think they'll plug along, and they're too good and too experienced to not accumulate enough points, to get to the playoffs. Somewhere along the line, Bill Zito I'd be very surprised if he doesn't find a way to add a player of significance. I mean, they've got all kinds of cap space given the long-term effects of these injuries. The one thing I would say about lifting is, yes, they're trying to lift the same weight, but they're missing two of their strongest power lifters.
Right.
And so the weight does get heavier on Anton Lundell and Evan Rodriguez and Sam Bennett, like their centers. Like it does get heavier. Like how can it not?
Yeah.
And so they're nowhere near as good a team as when those guys are there. How could they be? Yeah. So they've got to find another way. And of course, they're well coached. And as I said, they're experienced and disciplined. And they'll look different. And there'll be a lot of nights maybe where they just don't have it. But there's no way I don't have them as a playoff team.
Right. Okay. Speaking of not having, and again, it's too early. I feel like we have to qualify when we say that to this point. Let's look at the New York teams. You mentioned you're doing the Islanders-Oilers game tonight as we record here on Thursday. On TSN regionally, we have the Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. The Rangers 0-3 on home ice. Ugly losses on home ice. Yet 2-0 to start on the road. So they're looking for 500. I mean, how do you explain that? What we've seen or what we haven't seen from the Rangers on home ice?
It's so nobody gets shut out 3 games in a row, and then they get shut out, of course, at home, but they've got those road games in the middle of them, and it's an odd thing. But I do think it exposes a little bit of the issue of what the Rangers are, the way they're constructed, right? Is like, first of all, Trocheck got put on LTI, so he's a minimum of 10 games before he's back. They have really 2 lines that will score and 2 lines that probably won't. And now you take one of your 6 guys, one of your drivers out of your top 6. Yeah. And that's going to make scoring a little more difficult. But to not score 3 times at home it's uncomfortable. It's, you go out there and, you go 0 for 1 on the power play and you start hearing the murmurs in the building. Like, you don't hear exactly what the people are saying, but you know what they're saying. and it's not a comfortable place. So they're in my view, they're not a top of the barrel team.
Right.
They're somewhere in a transitional phase, and there's going to be some nights where they're just not going to score. If those top guys don't score, they're not going to get enough from the bottom of their lineup, I don't think.
And look, I know you're on overdrive. Was it yesterday, Wednesday, or Tuesday? I think it was yesterday.
What's today? Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was on yesterday.
And I know you talked with the guys about Easton Cowan. 20-year-old who's played 2 games, regular season games in the National Hockey League, earned his first point the other night, Tuesday night, playing on that top line with Auston Matthews and Matthew Knies. And like any Canadian market, I don't know if this kid feels the pressure of playing on the top line with Matthews and Knies for the Toronto Maple Leafs or not, but the market sure focuses on this kid. And sure. I think I'm not going to make the point that you made. You make your own point here, but I agree wholeheartedly. Like, there's an auditioning process on that, right? On that wing with that line. And to expect Easton Cowan to nail down that spot at this stage of his career is bonkers.
Oh, I think it says as much about the rest of the lineup as it does about Cowan. Like, if they had a better option, he wouldn't be playing there.
Right.
And so he's played, 2 games now, Dregs, with him?
Yeah.
With Matthews. And he's made some really nice plays. You can see what they like about him. But every time he goes on the ice, because he's with Auston, they get the other team's best defensive pair. So not only is he just learning the league, he's learning it against the very best players. Chances are that's not going to go very well if you expect him to play at a 50 or 60 point pace. And the way I pick those numbers is if the guy that's playing with Matthews has to play at that productivity. That's what a top line is. And if not, they might have to figure out a different way to align those players. Like in the top of their lineup. Like, maybe they end up with Matthews and Nylander together and they drop Knies to Tavares. Like, there might be different ways to go about constructing the top 6 of their lineup. But to expect, like, I look at any 20-year-old player and I'm like, how could, Bedard's in his 3rd year, so this is different. But how can a 20-year-old play at the top of a lineup? I think it's too hard. Although then I look in other sports and you see, like in baseball, they've got like the Yankees and the Blue Jays have these 20-year-old starting pitchers and they're money. And you're like, how did they get that? How did they get that good that fast? Like, maybe there could be an outlier, but to put Cowan, who's not a natural winger, on the right wing, I don't know that that's the best place long term. What if he goes 6 games without a point? Plays pretty well, doesn't get a point. Can you leave him there? Probably not.
Yeah. No.
And Berube's going to have to feel all that out.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do, of course, with Scotty Lawton being injured, so he's got Domi covering off there. But let me be an a-hole, because I like to be every once in a while.
Sure, fire. Oh, yeah, you do. I've seen it.
You were a real good center in your day in the NHL.
Thank you.
Playing against elite centers, stars, obviously. So you've got Matthews, you've got Connor McDavid. They appreciate the cap world that is. Are they looking to their wing and going, really? This stage of my career, here's what I've got. I've got a kid who's played 2 NHL games, and I've got Trent Frederick, who's a nice player. Now, Trent Frederick's a good NHL player, but because of the cap, the general managers can't do any. Like, it's not like they didn't try and upgrade, their players in the off season. It's just not that simple. So being the a-hole, are you sour about that if you're the elite center, or are you just recognizing it is what it is because of the cap situation? There just aren't better options available.
I think in today's world, they understand it better. When I played, there was no. I mean, we'd never even heard of a cap, and so your team was your team, and you're like, there were times I'm sure wingers were playing with me and going, man, I'd rather be playing with Ron Francis. I mean, like, why wouldn't you have? Or I would rather play on a different line. And I certainly felt that way too. Like, wait a minute, our line's going really well. They make a change because they want more balance. Like, how's that guy? Like, how does he fit? Like, you would notice it for sure. I think today these guys don't. The options aren't there. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I would assume Matthews would want to play with Nylander. Why wouldn't you want to play with the best players?
Yeah.
Like, you are the best player. Why wouldn't you want to play with the other best players?
And why do you think Berube hasn't done that? Again, just trying to spread out the wealth of his lineup and make sure that the offense is spread out in that?
Well, okay, so if you do that, what's your second line?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it gets pretty thin.
And so you can't. He's coaching a team, not one guy.
Yeah. Right.
And here's the other thing. Like, when I read, people say, not just fans, but media, they got to go out and get someone to play in that spot. Oh yeah, who are you going to get?
Yeah.
So look at another team that's got a really good winger and go ask them if you can have them. And they're going to tell you to beat it. Like, that's where I almost, like, when I think about expansion, where there's been a lot of talk about that of recent days. Yeah. And I'm like, where are the players coming from? Like, what? I don't.
Goalies, players, where?
Yeah,
where
good for
are
them.
they coming from?
I add more teams if you want to add more teams, but and there'll be more guys with more opportunity to play in the NHL. But man, it's like, you can, if you try to get, for example, a top center, where do you get a top center in the draft?
No. Yeah,
right? There's only so many players, and you get them in the draft, and that's it. So that'll be a challenge, and I think there are teams that are not finding out. They understand it. Like, they just see the market doesn't support making a move that would put a top line guy there.
No. And look, I mean, Brad Treliving has made those moves. He acquired Scott Lawton, gave up assets, good assets, including a first-round draft pick. Acquired Carlo from the Boston Bruins, gave up prospects, gave up good assets. When I look at the Maple Leafs, I see Easton Cowan, I see Ben Danford, and I see a first-round pick in 2028. Well, are you willing to part with any of those pieces? Because, you would have to, at least, to get into that sort of trade market. Let's wrap up the Canadian Brewhouse headlines with you're doing the Oilers Islanders, as we've talked about. Yeah. What is going on with this Islanders team? Like, it just predictable that one more time they'd be slogging in the bottom of the conference, or what are we seeing early on?
Well, I do think they're better than what they are right now. I mean, Sorokin hasn't played very well in net, and I think he's a really good player.
He is,
like, good goalie. Barzal and Horvat have not gotten off to really good starts, and those guys, for a team that doesn't score a lot, those guys have to, and they will. Now, they like playing together, and just for what we've talked about, they've split them up. They're looking for a little more balance of offense, but in looking for that balance, what they're getting is nothing. So maybe at some point they have to think about putting them back together. The real, I got a couple of notes. I was checking around, and they said, like, the one thing that you'll be excited about is Matthew Schaefer. And I'm like, but he's 18 and he's by himself. Somebody told me yesterday, 6 weeks after Schaefer turned 18, because his birthday's in September, 6 weeks after he turned 18, he played 25 minutes in an NHL game. I mean, like, that's just crazy to think about, right? And I'm really looking forward to watching him play. Now, so we just talked a little bit about where do you get good players? You get them in the draft. So they traded Dobson, and they ended up, to Montreal. They ended up with a first. They got Atchison and Eklund and Schaefer in the first round this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really positive day for them, a great day for them.
Yeah.
But 2 of the 3 of them aren't in the league.
Right.
So you got to wait. And I'm curious how long Patrick Waugh's patience will stretch out because, just because. The Islanders, in their history, they came in the league in 1972. They've never started a season 0-4-0. And they play the Oilers tonight, and they're 0-3.
Yeah.
And so it's they're in a tough spot right now.
Can we pump the brakes? And I think you'll agree on. We did a quiz question. The quiz master just throwing ridiculous stuff at us on Tuesday, right? In our season opener, regionally, asking for the comparisons. Schaefer to Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes. There was a Bobby Orr reference in the question that James Duthie had to ask. I mean, please. Let's just let this kid breathe a little bit, right? Like
I have this stat. I have to double check it. But since 1980, there's 50 years almost, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's been 4 number 1 overall defensemen that have played more than 10 games as an 18-year-old.
Wow.
Gord Kluzak in 82, Roman Hamrlik in 92, Aaron Ekblad in 2014, Rasmus Dahlin in 2018. And Schaefer will be the 5th.
Yeah.
Pretty bloody hard, position to play. The problem that Matthews got is you got somebody like Scott Arniel that just finished playing a game and he goes, oh my God, he skates like the guy in Colorado. And so of course we're all going to go, oh, really?
Yeah, it's an NHL coach telling us this.
Yeah, so he knows. And there was a play, when you're scrolling through X and you see highlights and you stop and you look at some and you don't look at others. It was an exhibition game, and Schaefer, it was in overtime, and he was way behind the play. He had gone in fishing around for trying to score, and he back-checked on somebody that had a breakaway, and he caught up. He was 20 feet behind him. And I stopped and went back and watched it again. I was like,
I know.
Are you kidding me? It looked like he was glued to the ice. He was just like, whoosh. So I'm really looking forward to. So pumping the brakes, sure, but just maybe a light tap. And there's so much about this kid that is so interesting, and he seems like just a wonderful, wonderful young man, and just a kid. And the Islanders, the people that go to the games there, this is a very passionate fan base. They're all in on Matthew Schaefer, and I'm looking forward to watching him.
Yeah, and as you said, a real test tonight for Schaefer and the New York Islanders as they take on the Edmonton Oilers. All right. Those are your headlines. Thank you to the Canadian Brewhouse. Ask Ray and Dregs Anything is a staple of the podcast. You can send us your questions on X and Instagram at Ray and Dregs, or on the website rayanddregs.com. But we've also got a fun part of the podcast, which is the NHL Challenge. And for that, we bring in Ryan Rishaug, who decided to wear his boys' medium T-shirt.
Oh, come on.
Well, he didn't have time
today.
Dregs, he didn't have time to change. He was in transit.
Oh, that's right. He was in transit.
I can't believe you guys struggle with that so much. This idea of being in transit. Like it's really simple. And for 2 guys that travel a lot, I mean, you guys were doing the show. I was flying through the air to get from one location to another. I was
a boondoggle. It was a boondoggle. It's not like you're flying to work. Like you were, it's just vacation time for Ryan and Randine, right?
I mean, the Oilers are out of town. What's wrong with hopping out to Bear Mountain for a few rounds of October golf out here, Ray? Like, you know Bear Mountain, Ray?
Yes, I do, and I know golf in BC is great at this time of year. I also never in our years of doing this have written in there as I travel one of my 100 flights a year. Sorry, guys, I'll be in transit. I can't make the show.
I feel like it's a normal thing to say.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Those aren't pillows.
maybe people can let us know. Was it that weird? I'm in transit. I am moving from I am transitioning from one location to another.
Okay.
That's what was going on. We'll get to the challenge in a couple of minutes, guys, but we got some good entries here on Ask Ray and Dregs. Ray, you're doing the Oilers game tonight, so this one comes to us from Steve in Edmonton. He says, guys, how long would you give Stuart Skinner this season to determine if he's ready to take his game to a new level, or if a change needs to be made for the playoffs? I think the general feeling in Edmonton is that the Oilers won't go into the playoffs with Stuart Skinner as their starter if he has not shown himself to be ready to take that challenge on and maybe take a step forward overall. I'm not sure if you'd agree with that, Ray, but what do you think? What is the length of time?
50 games, or until another goalie pops up that you think is a legitimate upgrade. Like, I understand the want for change, but to make a change just because, it's a different guy back there. It costs you assets. It will cost you cap space for sure, because Skinner, I think, makes, what's he make, right? Or guys, like 2.7-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to think you're getting an upgrade, you're probably looking at a more expensive guy. I mean, you got to be pretty sure it's an upgrade. But the reason I say 50 games is, we all looked at him and Bouchard staring at each other when Coleman poked the puck in the net.
Right.
And go, oh, that can't happen. And then he gets a 30-save shutout in New York where the team was not very good. And he was great.
Yeah.
So if you traded him immediately after Coleman poked it into the net, then you wouldn't have got the shutout 2 days later.
Right.
And so it's a dicey one for me, Ryan, but I don't think it's as quick as people might think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also wonder if inevitably it evolves into goaltending by committee again, right? And maybe that's what it is. I was on set the other night, Tuesday night, with Noodles, Jamie McLennan, and he's got a lot of time for Connor Ingram. He does. Like, now there's a lot of stuff that has to fall into place, but he just flat out said, look, Ingram's a good goaltender. He's a good goaltender. So,
but is he better?
Well, we don't know. But that's, right, I guess, my point. Maybe we'll find out. He may not be better, but it just feels like the Oilers, unless something just lands in their lap, it's not like Bowman didn't have conversations throughout the offseason leading up to last year's trade deadline, despite what he said about, no, our goaltending is fine. So I think they look internally first.
A lot of times with the conversation in Edmonton about goaltending, I think what's lost is what they're paying for their goaltending too, right? And the value in not having, Ray, as you always say, $6 or $7 million sitting under a ball cap, 35 to 40 games a year. And I think
it's kind of weird at all this too, is Pickard as a backup, I think does a terrific job.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what more do you want from your backup? And so I guess they call that, like their goaltending is lower ceiling, high floor.
Yeah.
And, they'd like to raise the ceiling, of course. And again, you can't do it cheaply. You just can't. But they're so close. Like they must feel like how could they not feel like they're so close?
Yeah.
Okay, the Carolina Hurricanes, the last undefeated team in the East, averaging 5 goals per game so far. 12 of their 15 are at even strength. Are there early signs this team might have a different quality that can get them over the hump? Love the show. Keep them coming. This is from Brian in Halifax. They've been a good team for a while here, Ray, but just have been running up against it in the playoffs. Do you see anything different there?
Honestly, I don't. And I think as you know, I'm a big baseball fan. In the 1990s, the Braves won the World Series one time. They won the division like 11 years in a row. The regular season's long, and you need to be relentless. And you need to play as many higher energy games as you can. And that's what Rod Brindamore does with his team. Like, we all watch that team. You're like, man, they just keep at it. They're just on it all the time. Their forward group is really small.
Yeah.
Like it is really small. I'm just going to check it here, because at some point I had it written down. And so like when they add Stankoven, like their top 6 forwards outside of Svechnikov are small. And so eventually when you get to the playoffs, you don't play any small teams, or certainly defense groups. By the time you get into the second round, you're starting to look at all these monsters back there. And what has really hurt them unbelievably is offense in the playoffs. We look at the goaltending and go, is it good enough? And, Freddie Anderson, you don't really count on him health-wise and stuff, but it's been fine. It's not been great. It's been fine. Maybe a little bit like Edmonton. It's been fine, but not great. But I worry, my concern with Carolina is they're just too small up front when they get into the playoff part of the season. I think they'll have a great year. I don't see any way they don't get 100 points again. Like it's a good team, man. It's just not easy.
No, I think they're going to be a good team again as well. I think I had them in the conference final against Tampa Bay. I just think Tampa Bay is just marginally better. But I also have room for the tweaking that Eric Tulsky and the owner, Tom Dundon, are going to do moving forward. Now we know that they came close to signing Mikey McLeod, who's playing in Russia now. And that went sideways for a myriad of reasons. But they are definitely trying to add something in Carolina. Just don't know what that is and how impactful it might be.
Well, and remember the size they tried to add for their stretch run last year, and Mikko Rantanen, one of the biggest, strongest forwards. So it's not that they're not aware of their own issue. Just didn't work out last year in addressing it. Last one, boys, comes from Ross in North Delta. Ray, are there certain cities where your travel luck is consistently the same? A place where you're going, it's going to be smooth, or perhaps the opposite. For me, Minnesota has always been smooth and easy in and out. Denver, not so much. Not to jinx your upcoming travel with this question, but I wonder if others who travel a lot have the same experience as me. Let's try not to make this 2 minutes of crapping on airlines, but let's keep it focused on locations.
Okay, I would agree. Minneapolis, very smooth, really good airport. In and out of there most of the time. However, that's a Delta hub, and I generally fly the Air Canada / United. So I'm in Chicago a lot. That can be dicey. Chicago can be dicey. But I'm in New York today. If anyone has a smooth travel day in New York, let me know where it is. Doesn't matter which of the airports you go to.
No, it doesn't.
You're never close enough to where you need to go. Everything's like, I got a flight at 6:00 tomorrow morning. I got to wake up at 4.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I might as well drive to my destination. But anyways, New York's always a challenge for me, for sure.
Yeah, Denver can be a little sketchy too, right? Like that it gets busy in Denver. At least it does for us. I've got one of those trips coming up because there's a meeting in Colorado Springs, so we've got to fly into Denver, and then I guess I'm driving to Colorado Springs. I don't.
You know what we loved? We used to love the back-to-back from when you'd play in Edmonton and then go to Denver, because the airports are so close to the city in both locations.
So 3 hours of driving.
Different passports from Edmonton to get into the city.
Actually, Denver's a beauty because Denver's a beauty because it's the bumpiest of landings anywhere, and you just have no idea if your luggage is on the plane. So you're sitting there like, you don't know if you're going to end up with your luggage in Denver. It's kind of a 50-50. All right, that was Ask Ray and Dregs. We appreciate everybody with all your submissions, and hit us up on our socials if you have questions for the guys. You can maybe even let us know if you're taking part in the Tim Hortons Hockey Challenge, how you're doing. We want to know how the Ray and Dregs listeners are doing. Guys, I know I wasn't here last show. You guys had some fun with me, a little chirping here and there, maybe the odd pick that didn't make a lot of sense. But I'm on a 2-day heater here, fellas. I've got 50 points in the last 2 shows, and I'm on a 2-day streak.
Can 2 days be called a heater?
Well, when you start where I started,
I'm 6. I'm 1 for 6 in my picks, so I should probably shut up. But
and by the way, we'll give you a pointer. Don't take either Brady or Matthew Tkachuk. Okay. Leave Barkov off your ballot. That there's another tip for you.
It was a minor brain cramp. It was a minor brain cramp on Lowry, but I've been good since. I've been a little more dialed, a little more focused. Auston Matthews came through for me, so I picked up another 25 points, and I think I'm doing pretty good. Zuby, you're kind of tracking the whole thing, buddy, and you're running our Ray and Dregs account that's competing against everybody out there. So how are we doing in the internal competition, and how's Ray and Dregs doing?
Well, the Ray and Dregs account as me is doing okay. Started out hot, cooling off here a little bit. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to. I mean, overall, really, you got to tip our caps to Dregs here. He's killing it. 3 for 6. He's picked on 2 days. He's got 3. He had Matthews and Kirby Dach come through for him on a double from last show. Ray had Cole Caulfield come through on that show as well. So he had 1. So Dregs is 3 for 6, 75 points. So
I got a question. Can we have an internal plus? Cole scored twice. So can I get?
I noted that. Yeah,
doesn't work like that.
Well, why not? I mean,
stop trying to make up rules.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I was scolded right there. Never mind. I'll fade into the background like Grandpa into the hedge on The Simpsons.
How about the next Tim Hortons marketing meeting, Ryan? You bring this to their attention. Ray Ferraro would like you to amend your rules.
I'll make sure I'll go right to the head of them, right to the head of the organization. Zuby, how are you doing? Quick update on the Ray and Dregs scoreboard. How are we doing?
I'm 3 for. The app is hold on. Here we go. I've got 3 right, three winning days so far, 13% on my pick. So it's a little low. We could we're gonna try to pick it up here. I've got the little not the heater. I have the what do you call it? The snowflake graphic.
That's no good.
That is not good.
Zuby, why don't you get your kids to help you? They got to be better than you, no?
This is true. Well, my kid couldn't pick this one. Connor McDavid doesn't have a goal yet, so we've got him on tap for tonight, among others. So that'll be my.
So you can.
Putting all my eggs in that basket. I'll add Lane Hudson and Gabe Velarde there, but that's where again I got to give it back to Dregs. He got Kirby Dach in that 3rd spot. It's challenging.
Gut feel.
It's challenging. You get into that 3rd tier there. The players, selected. It's a completely different.
Okay, Zuby, I'm going to step on one of your picks today.
All right.
Okay. Lane Hudson got 6 goals last year.
Yeah, that one jumped out at me too.
I mean,
Love the
what
kid.
are you doing? Why don't you pick whoever he's going to pass it to tonight? Well, because that's what he's going to do.
That guy wasn't on the list. It was a bunch of power play D. It was him or Bouchard. And if Connor's going to light the lamp, there's not enough goals left there.
We need to show solidarity on the Ray and Dregs team. We're supporting Chris. He's going out on a limb to represent us, and you're just going to trash him for his picks.
No, that's
it doesn't say Ray, Dregs, and Zuby. It says Ray and Dregs. That's what
I'm representing them, and the guys here, they want me to have a little bit of critical hockey thinking, so I appreciate it. All feedback is appreciated.
Right. Okay, so here's the things. Bouchard doesn't have a goal yet either.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
He's due.
I'm playing due factor today. Okay.
So the Tim's Challenge is back. The Tim Hortons app gives you a chance to win daily and monthly prizes for picking players who you think will score. There's a chance to win a new Hyundai Tucson season-ending grand prize. I don't think the Ray and Dregs account is in jeopardy of winning that Hyundai Tucson by the end of this season.
We gotta get hot.
Zuby's just heating up now. All right, guys, that was Ask Ray and Dregs Anything. By the way, Dregs, are you going to go this whole show without discussing Ray's background at all? Like nothing at all about the Austin Powers mess he's got going on behind him there?
I was going to mention it. It is kind of Long Island-ish. But
I'm in the city.
Yeah, no, I know you are. That's why I didn't. But it's interesting. It's eclectic. It's very Ray-like.
Oh yeah, if you come into our home, we got a lot of solid blue walls. There's a gray solid wall. You're not getting this in our house, that's for sure.
That's a good point. All right, Ryan, thank you.
Yeah.
See ya. Get into transit again, buddy. See ya.
Yeah, he's headed into transit. Zub was talking about Lane Hudson, Evan Bouchard in that list. Like, I mean, we all select from the same groupings. in the Tim Hortons NHL Challenge. I felt like Gabe Vilardi was a nice pick in the 3-hole. He's a power play guy, like all of it. Like there were forwards available. You just had to look. Not that defense can't score, but anyway, we may have to take control of that. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll monitor Zuby's progress here, but it's early in the season. But we're like Steve Staios and the Ottawa Senators. How long can we be patient?
Yeah, at some point we may have to step in. You're right, and get aggressive. All right, so you've got the game tonight. Oilers Islanders. Head back to BC.
No, then I'm. No, then we're. Cami is in transit as we speak.
Like that.
We're going to meet in State College to visit Riley for Parents' Weekend. So we get.
That's right.
Yeah, he thought it was next weekend. He's really excited for us to come in, and but we're really looking forward to seeing him, and we'll see him this weekend, and then I'm in Boston and Dallas next week.
Is he like under lock and key, or can he actually leave the team and come out for breakfast or lunch?
It's
or
full.
dinners?
It's full parent weekend for the college. So it's going to be a madhouse in there, and
that's fun.
So it's fun. They're. I think we're going to the hockey game Saturday night. So looking forward to that as well, and get a good visit in, buy him a few meals, and see around the campus. It'll be a great visit. We're looking forward to it.
Good deal. All right.
Well, you have a good weekend at home, eh?
Home.
You got the game tonight, and get some work in, get some relax in, and hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Have a great one, and thanks for listening.
You bet. And thank you to our sponsors, who continue to support the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast. Our title sponsor, Tim Hortons, thank you, and thank you to the Canadian Brewhouse. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.